Yeah, but that female that I met off of TikTok, she is really, really intelligent, and she actually just posted a video on there, and they took it down too, and she was bummed because it was a really good one. And it's like all the times when we spend all this time, and actually it's the ones where it's just like an intuitive spark in our brain, and then we get on and we say something, and then it's gone.
And the common video.
Yeah.
And now my video is gone. Oh, it's coming back. Oh, it's coming. Hello, lovely beings. We put it on the YouTube and now also in cloud. Yes. Welcome, lovely beings.
Hello.
YouTube, I still have to do the sound off because otherwise I hear myself twice. Coming. So,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay.
But YouTube is still starting. It's like on the YouTube. It's still like yes, it's coming now. It's coming, but I have to put the sound off on YouTube, otherwise I hear myself. But and on my YouTube on my phone, it's already there, but on my computer not yet.
So you remember when you guys got me started back on my conga machine by encouraging me to go back to it?
Yeah.
And you remember how, like, when I started, my hands, like, it was kind of hard to open and close them because of how sore my joints were?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all, like, you see, like, and there's no pain in my joints. That's one thing about this water that amazes me is when you're drinking it, you don't, one, it tastes really good. It tastes like what water should taste like. You're like, oh, this is the taste of water, not bleach from the tap water or fluoride from the. I get sick if I drink the tap water, and I mean, there's quite a few different ways that you can tell that the living water brings back life into your body. That the
But
bottled water and tap water take out.
yeah, it's more oxygen in it as well, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I could
And
take you on a machine to show you. Well, even in this, let's see.
you see the bubbles?
Can you see the bubbles?
Oh, I can't see it.
I just filled it up a minute ago. Here, let me just go fill it up. Just put more water in it, and you'll be able to see it.
So welcome everybody, welcome. I'm still starting on the YouTube. It's on my phone, but not on my computer yet, but it's coming. Because on the YouTube on my phone it's there. Welcome everybody to a new episode of Real Talk.
I just filled it up a minute ago. Here, let me just go.
Welcome. Oh, it's nice what you clothes what you have on.
Fill it up. Put more water in it, and you'll be able to see it.
No,
Yeah. It's hard to see it through here.
behind the water machine, she wants to let me take all the bubbles in the water. Oh, now it's coming on the computer. Yes. Yay! So everybody, very welcome. Welcome. You look nice today.
Thank you. I like the colors on your dress. Is that roses or flowers?
Yeah, roses.
That's pretty. That's very pretty.
And yes, we're here together again. And today we are talking about, every time we have a different topic that's like really inspiring and interesting. And I think we could talk for hours about like a lot of different topics. Uh, But I really feel like this is a really big one. It's about like keeping the faith. Like even if you're totally down, even if you have lost hope, even if you want to give up, keeping the faith. Like how can you keep the faith? How do you keep going on when there's like when you like there's like total we all have these moments, I think, that we totally lost that hope or faith, like hope or faith, and we lost it. Like, if it's ever gonna go better, and we're like rock bottom, but sometimes we need those moments in life to, from there, it can only go up. But to
Yep.
even like, I have like a huge, I think huge amount of faith. Like I just trust that it gets better, and I know I have a knowing in myself almost. Like I know it will. No.
That's the best word you use, the knowing of it. Um, because I think that that is part of what God put when he put him in his image into us. I think that that knowing that everything will get better, will change, is part of what he wanted for us. So like it's part of like the inner spark. We have to it's a knowing. That's why you don't believe things. When you believe something, that's a lie. Because if first of all, the word lie is right in the middle of believe. So it's be lie and then V, whatever, be live, whatever. You can also say that. But my brain works in a very strange way, and that's how it told me that the word believe is bad. And knowing something is something that is in a core of you, that it cannot be taught, it cannot be changed, it cannot be swayed. It is a knowing. So part of that, it must be, because we have to keep the faith. It is an innate coded sequence for us to know that we must keep the faith. God will, the energies, everything will be perfect. It is hard. I know a lot of times when actually, I've even written a poem called Rock Bottom Prayer, and I have it in my book, and I could read it. I might. Um, but when we hit rock bottom and when we're really just down and out, is when that fight or flight kicks in. And it's when we're like, okay, well, I look around and it's like everybody's suffering right now. Everybody. And if they're not suffering mentally, physically, socially, financially, they're suffering by getting bombs thrown on them. I mean, over in Palestine and in Israel and everything, that the the way that even we were played to sway to one side in the beginning, and then we hear what's really going on, and we're like, oh well, what about, how about, like, can we just stop it? Can we not pick a side? Can we just pick love? Like, I would rather us just pick love. If we're fighting for a God, what God wants us, why would God want us to kill his people? Oh, those are their people. Yes, they are. Every being, I don't care if it's my dog laying right here, the grass outside, the birds in the sky, it does not matter. If it has a energetic frequency, it we don't need to harm it. It's we're just getting so big in our ego that we're throwing out stones when we really need to eat the stone and see why it's sitting so heavy in our heart. There's reasons why our body feels things, why we get tired. Because I have a very close friend of mine that just discussed with me the other day about how tired they are. I'm tired. I am tired. And then they told me about something that their mom used to do, and I just think that is just the cutest thing. And I asked her if I could.
Oh, you just accidentally. Yeah.
I was getting a phone call. She called it cuss and discuss. When she was having her times where she was really about to snap out, she would just go for a walk down this one road and cuss and discuss things with God. Um, it's like a washcloth getting wrung out repeatedly, over and over and over and over again. Filled up with water, then wring out. Filled up with water, and then wring, twisted out. After 10,000 times of that washcloth being filled up with water and then wring out, it's gonna be tired. But how many dishes did that washcloth clean? Or how many seeds did that water that fell from the washcloth grow? We have to think of those kind of things when we're sitting here feeling so tired. We should flip it around and say, you know what? I am so blessed that I was gifted the ability to do so much for so many. And I'm speaking these words just as they're coming to my mind. Um, it's a blessing to be able to do as much and think as widely as we do and have the heart expansion that we do, because when we need that and when we think of the people over in Gaza, in the West Banks and everywhere that's going with that kind of anger, if we were to all sit here and collectively, even on your 1 week, 1 minute, like let's take a minute out of a week, out of a day, and all grow our love and expand it all the way out and get it to reach them. We can be that. It's not unable to happen. I mean, whenever you're thinking of one of your best friends that you haven't talked to in a long time, and just all of a sudden you get this like feeling, and then you look down at your phone and they just text you, "Hey, call me when you got a minute. I miss you. You've been on my mind." Huh. Well, you've been on my mind. I wonder if that's connected. Well, yes, it's connected. Just like our DNA, all of our DNA sequence, how that stacks up and lays up. And there's a spiritual cord too. It's like I've always imagined it as a spider web, even though I'm not too fond of spiders. After my awakening, I became more cool with them because I'm like, you're doing your thing, but can you do your thing way over there? I'm gonna be over here. I'll watch you build a web because I love watching a spider build a web. And I think that that's what our connected consciousness is like. It's like a waterfall web that just keeps on going. Um, yeah, I think that's the end of my start.
Yeah, I was like, I had last week, I had like the whole episode of like being exhausted and tired and lots of grief coming up. And yeah, when we all connected, I was also checking like, is it my own? Is it from me or my past life or whatever it's got? No, I was really collective. I checked and no, that code was really collective, but it was like so deep sometimes, like so deep. And but yeah, indeed, like maybe like we feel that whatever, like what is in the collective, what needs to be felt, and how, whatever it is. I also have that with like ceremonies. I'm always like crying the most out of everybody, and then the person giving it says like, "Thank you for feeling it for everybody." I'm like, yeah, uh, yeah. It's like some people say it's all collective, other people say it's all you, other people say it's a combination. I don't know. It just feels like it's yours. Uh, but I had like one time also after a workshop that I felt like really bad, like really lots of things in myself, like a lot of fears and doubts came up, and then the teacher also said like that's not yours, that's collective, let it go. So
Yep.
I sometimes don't know what it's like. I think it's all connected as well. That too, like what we are shifting, what we are letting go, and we are like, and then we're raising everything, and like everything. We're like, I always feel like I have to go through like a really low, and then like a dark night of the soul before I get a new upgrade, like a new feeling of energy and like freedom and light and love, and like how much we can just be grateful that we have this love inside of us. Like a lot of people don't. I think not a lot of people feel that like that. But what we feel inside of us like fills us up. That's so much
It's a
love
phone
that can
account.
never be
You
taken.
make that your phone account.
Yeah. You're,
Pretty sure you go to profile.
It's so much. Yeah, it's so like I'm so grateful that I can feel that love and I have that within and I have moments of like deep bliss and joy and pleasure and like
what?
I have most of the time I feel so amazing and I just have sometimes that I feel really low and I just need to go through it.
Yeah. Sometimes like so when I actually started this morning feeling kind of like that, and I even verbalized it to my son. I was like, there's something amiss with me today. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm going inside, and I'm like, and I would go ask myself, okay, so did something happen to you this morning? Did you have a bad dream? um what about, what is it that's starting your irritation off? And it I consider it the ebb and the flow. Like when we're having those really down times, I'll even know if I'm having a horrible day, like 1,000 things are going wrong in that day. I I I energetically know that the day after that is going to be really good. Not the next day, because for some reason it's like the energy has to like flip itself back over. But the day after a really bad day, it's a really good day. And so I started noticing these things about how stuff clicks, why stuff clicks, why after in and when you're in a really bad mood, if you allow one thing to piss you off in the morning, say um your kid woke you up 5 minutes before your alarm went off and you really wanted that other 5 minutes, there's a immediate battle that starts happening where one, you have a choice to either get really mad at your kid for waking you up early or figure out, maybe go to sleep earlier if you want that extra 5 minutes. There's always a solution to a problem, because things aren't problems, they're just energies wanting to be seen or talked about or done with. Um, but I'm very grateful that I do have that love within me, that I do have that capacity to do or be or think or see things differently. Um, when I was a child, it was a little bit more difficult because I didn't know that what I was taught that what I was a bad thing. And now that I've grown up, especially after my talk with Kelly Geisler today, I love her. Um, she, Geister, not Geisler. I always want to add the lur on there. Anyways, she was talking about how our inner childhood, that pain that we get. Oh, see, I think I'm squirreling on what I was talking about. But that we're not, we just get hurt when we have our kid issues, and we don't, when we're told not to be so energetic or not to be so emotional or not to care so much about things, or even like she is, not to pick up random animals that are hurt and bring them home and nurse them back to health. um like there's all different sorts of ways that we're told not to be what we are. when we're the type of people that have that kind of expansive love energy. But what Kelly said is it's a lot of their own problem, because like imagine their inner child talking to them, their ego, right? And it's like, see, that person over there, she's wearing those cool glasses, she's wearing a cool dress, she's got like bracelets and rings, and she's like energetic and bubbly and fun. Why won't you be like that, man? This is boring. You're not doing anything. You're just going to work. Like, and it actually made a lot of sense when she explained it like that. I mean, I added to it with my brattiness, but it really is eye-opening when you think of your inner child in there battling with your ego and your emotions and all that other stuff. And it doesn't feel like it gets to have a voice. So yeah, you're going to get angry at somebody who is definitely letting her inner child out. Like I also anger people.
Yeah, but I think people are like not even aware of it. But it's subconsciously they immediately like they get triggered.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like their inner beingness is like triggered by it, and they're like, I don't know why I'm mad at you, but I don't like you. I've literally had people tell me like, you're a nice person. I think you're cool, but I can't stand to be around you, dude. Like after I'm around you, even if it's for 5 minutes, I am like, I'm like, I understand I have a lot of energy. I definitely know, and I don't even take offense to that. I'm proud of you for noticing and recognizing it and saying it in such a right way. I get it.
Yeah, but you're like, but it's like we when we get triggered, it's almost like we notice it and we have choices and we would like we are notice and like what you said, it's like for us also like a reminder that we can make different choices and there's a reason why this is happening and what you feel this way. And but still sometimes we still also have that first that freeze flight fight had sometimes and we're not even aware of it. And but like everybody is like going through so much right now. But I think we as women, we have also like I have that also one of the so if you also have that, like we have that anyway, that purging or that like that moments that we going more inward and we are like um feeling that especially on a period that we really need to go inwards and we need to connect with ourselves and we need to release on a deeper level and purge. And that is something that really like also we have that like every month we have that we need to do that. We need to go inward and release a lot of things.
Yeah. And I think the reason a lot of our inner turmoil is because we don't let go, we don't release. If we were even as a singular person, let alone imagine if a collective of people did that and really released their anger. Let's just say a neighborhood. Um Twice a month at like, uh, they just, or maybe just once a month, whatever. But they went outside, they had a gathering, they had their food, and then the men and the women in their own separate areas got to sit there and do that chanting scream to where they really just let every energy scream your soul out and let that be what uh changes the frequency of what our mindset is. And I bet if we did like a test run for a year and had a neighborhood do that, I used to be a part of a Facebook group in Lee Summit, and it was called Howl at the Moon. And every night at 8 o'clock, you would go out and you would howl at the moon on your front porch. Ow! And just let it out. And what was really cool is when you would hear other people in the neighborhood that would do it at 8 o'clock. So keeping that in mind, if that was even something, because we as humans are conditioned to not do stuff like that because that's silly. Don't do that. That's silly, honey. No, that is ancestrally DNA sequenced into our core. If we were to actually like all go outside and really do that, one, it would let our inner child come out every night at 8 o'clock, and it would be a collective. So all of that good energy at once being sent out to nature, it would be great. And I bet that community or that neighborhood, I bet their cortisol level, I bet all of their chemicals in their brain would be at the right area. Like, I mean, I think that whole neighborhood would run a lot more sufficiently if they let go and released what we as humans allow ourselves to just keep inside all the time and then wonder why we're depressed. Like this morning, I shouldn't have been questioning why I'm depressed or why I was getting antsy. I mean, there's bills to pay, and I don't get worked enough at the job that I work at as a waitress. And so it's heavy. You're like, shit, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how bills are going to get paid. But that's still part of my old way of thinking. I don't want to worry about that because whatever happens to us it's not something that happens to me. Everything in life is a for you thing, because when you're saying, well, this happened to me, you're being victim, you're playing a victim role. But when you're saying this happened for me, because yeah, I got fired, but I also got hired at this new place, or scratch getting hired at all, I got fired and then I decided now I'm going to put time into me. I am going to invest into me, and I am going to work my passion. I'm going to start putting these out more. I'm going to start doing my ashes to artifacts and actually going and making business cards, because I've been boasting about this business for a year now and still don't have business cards. If I had 50 cents for every person who's asked me, "Do you have a business card? I love those glasses." I would have probably sold at least 50 pairs of glasses. But I'm there's something hesitant about me just ripping the band-aid off and having faith, keeping the faith in myself. It's very difficult to keep the faith in the outer world when we have such a problem keeping faith in our inner truth. It's like that the nagging thing in your body, that pull that's saying, I need you to go do this. I need you to go do this. I need you to go do this. But yet we're like, but I have my job at 9 o'clock I have to go to. Do you understand how earthly stupid that sounds? Like we're really denying our energetic frequency because of what we feel like. It's letting obstacles get in the way of our goals.
Yeah, and I also feel like sometimes it's also for us to find different ways, to find more innovative, creative ways. Like, okay, this is not working, then we'll do this. This is not working, we'll do this. So to have everything in place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I also like, I think a lot of people, that's why I'm glad that I found something that is bringing me extra income right now. So it's like, and it's still also going up and down, and but it's like at least it's there, and I'm growing it and building it, and I'm like several things. I'm growing, building several things, and doing so many things. So it'll come, but it's also I don't know. It's like these moments also, like you grow from it. You get more flexible. You have no more faith. You know, like every puzzle pieces will fall into place at one point, but sometimes it feels it doesn't yet. Um, but yeah, but it's like lots of like energy goes into like worry and fear then, but you want it into creation and trusting and just doing what you want to do. But you're also just human. It's like it happens that you have those moments, and it's all good. But it's such up and down. But what you said also, when you're down, it's like then it's like healing. I feel like you're healing, and but then what you said, like you're going up again, but you don't have the integration still, and then you have the up. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's
why
like a
there's a
healing.
day in between, because it's integrating. I get it. There you go.
Yeah, integration, and you feel it when you're like a bit in between, like you're not like really good, but also not bad, but sort of a bit neutral, and it's okay, can be there, and then you have that really high again, like. And I know it's coming, but I was like really for a long time. Last week I
This one's
didn't
honey
feel
jalapeno.
anybody. I was really not so good last week, and but yeah, and that also needs to happen. It's okay.
Yeah.
It has these moments, but not everybody really goes into it, goes inside or feels it all. And that
Yeah.
is what people.
No, they don't. Um, and those same people who won't do it for themselves look at the caterpillar becoming a butterfly and call it stupid.
Without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen my video that I recorded. I was at work at Colton's Steakhouse the other day, and there was a train going by, and I was inside taking an order, and I saw the train, and it had a crap ton of military ones, and it was such a long train. I had time to write down the order, put the order in, and then go check on my patio table outside and start recording a video. But I just got the tail end of it, but there was still probably 25 tanks on the tail end. And do you know that that video, last time I checked, is at 225,000 views? It has blown up. And all in the 838 comment section, there's so many people doing different, like almost every single one of the military people, you could overlay their comments on top of each other. They're so the same. It reminded me of the talk of the insurrection whenever Pelosi's people were trying to trash on Biden or on Trump. They were all saying the exact same, all this stuff, like brainwashing, and then his team was saying stuff like it was more expanded. And I'm not one towards the other or anything. I'm not political at all. Actually, I have never seen a point in voting. I've always, even from a little kid, I've known that there was puppets. I'm like, you guys know that this voting stuff isn't working, right? You know that it's fake. Whatever, okay, do your thing. Because as a kid, you can't say that kind of stuff without people looking at you like you're absolutely insane. Um, Man, I scrolled way off from where I was talking.
That's okay. But I was really like into it, like into politics, and people fought for this so we could vote. And before only men could vote, and the women fought for it so we can vote as well. So we need to vote. And I always did like the opposite, like not the standard
Yeah.
parties, also the opposite. And I was even at one point even also into politics. People could. For the city council, people could vote for me. I had like they found I moved somewhere and they were I moved back to my parents and they like I was a member and so they invited me to have a talk and we had a really good talk and they put me very high on the list and I was like, oh my, what now? But I didn't got in there. But oh no, like but I did have some. I found out very quickly like these people are lying to people. These people saying things and then they're not doing the things. And I was like shocked. And like someone was also saying that we were like going out, like talking to people, and they would just say lies and things that were not true. And I was like, I was like shocked. And they were also making like, oh, we're gonna do this, and they were on the backside, they're doing all other things. They were not doing what they agreed upon. And I was like, very quickly, I saw like the corruption so close by. I was like, I don't want to. And how they were lying to people, and those were people that were like revered in the community, like they put on a pedestal in the community, and it was like, oh my god, the people with the like the biggest mouths and the most corrupt, and it was like, I don't want to be part of that. Like I had that very good intentions for the people, and I was like, no, this is not the way. And I worked at the government, and I wanted to change within. I was like, oh, I know moments that I thought like this law doesn't work out for the people. I'm going to be part of a political party, so I'm gonna change it from the inside. Like I was like very much about that. Like, but then it was like, no, it doesn't work. You have to go totally outside. It doesn't work to be part of it because like you can do whatever, but it costs you your own energy. Like you have to be good as well. And but I was working at the social service, and I loved working with the people. But yeah, I loved. I worked with like homeless people, people with drug addicts, people like
Homeless people and drug addicts. I mean, I'm 10 years recovering, but I have found homeless people to be some of the most open-hearted, caring, and kind people. I would take a ride or hang out, take if I if you said, do you want to spend an entire 12 hours with an extremely rich philanthropist, or do you want to spend 12 hours with a homeless person? The only way I would choose the rich philanthropist is if I got to speak to him and have him help us make a better way and make a better day. It's the only reason I would pick him. Every other reason, I would pick the homeless guy because I know I'm going to get more intellect than a rich person would be. And that's not discounting every single rich person, but 10 to 1, I'd bet that you'd get a better conversation out of a homeless person than you will a rich person.
and it's also, I think that a lot of times they're very sensitive souls that just this whole society doesn't work for them. That because they don't want to go in line of what the rules of society, what they want you to do, and it's like not. That's why it's like also that's why we like go like a lot of times we go out of it because this is not working for a lot of people. That it's like crushes your soul like a lot of things. And
Yep.
but it's not easy. If you are out of it, out of like the normal like matrix, it's also not easy because then you also have you also need your way of making a living and doing things. Like it's like really like it's like this system is not working for a lot of people, and it gets worse for more people. Like more and more people having problem with money, more and more people have problems to pay their bills. Like I yesterday saw a meme, welcome to America, like the like a puppet from the Muppet Show or something saying, "Welcome to America, where we can't even pay to live. We can't even afford to live anymore." Like, and I mean, I said to my partner also a lot of times when we go grocery shopping, it gets more expensive and more expensive, and it was like, "Is this $100?" It's like we have like the cart half full, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is this?" And I was like, "If we already have this, like." So many people are having this right now. It's like it's really crazy.
It is.
And
I mean, people have been talking about that we need to grow our own food. There's been many people, and I've been going when I go to the grocery store. I have a lot of rice and beans because, like, I mean, if push comes to shove and all we got is rice and beans, at least we got rice and beans. I I would like to have a garden, but I don't live somewhere that I can grow things. Good. So it sucks because I can't do what I want to do what I feel pulled and called to do, because again, societal, like I consider renting, I consider paying a monthly mortgage, all to, in my mind, I feel like it shouldn't be. I don't think we should have to pay for rent. I definitely don't think we should have to pay for electricity. They need to just allow Tesla's um, thing. There's a man in Africa who has he's so intelligent. He built the energy thing that Tesla, but in a different way. It's in a giant box. But if every town were to have one, we wouldn't need to pay for electricity anymore. But they're black banning or shadow banning or whatever, blacklisting. That's what I was thinking. He can't get a town to want to do it, and it's like, what?
Because
Like we're
this whole
so
profit, they already
yeah.
have free energy. That's
Mhm.
why we have those towers up in the air, because they're taking it from the ethers. There's already free energy. They don't want people to know because they want to squeeze us out of the little body that we have. And also water. There's enough water. Like this bullshit. And they have like they say they don't have enough water, but if you go down, deep down, you make a
The
borehole.
aquifers.
Wherever you want to deep the borehole, you
Oh,
get water.
so sorry.
But they don't say that. They don't want you to know. And yeah, there's so many different things that people are paying for, and it's like so crazy. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's like where I come from in my country, they have so much more things that people have to pay for. Like I lived in Spain and Portugal, and it was much less than like things where you have to think about and pay. But in like in Holland, where I come from, you have to work like full time, otherwise you can't even live there. Like you have to like you have so many costs, like so crazy. And like the taxes, like I think it's a one time like a list of all the taxes people need to pay. It's pretty crazy. And it's like the more control the country, the more they really like squeeze you out even more. And people think that they're living in the land of the free. Now, well, they're living in the land of the happy slaves.
Yes, that is very true.
It's crazy.
I have a
Yeah, and then
friend.
you make people aware of it, and they get quite like they get angry at you, and it's like,
Yeah, don't get mad at me. I'm just
yeah, yeah,
telling
but
you.
it's like,
Yeah, people don't want to know though. I mean,
yeah,
just like my a family member. I won't place personal, but a family member, when I was trying to speak to them about that shot that was going around, and I begged this person, please do not do this. Please do not do this. And um this person's spouse actually called me selfish. He said, well, I just kind of gave away, but they said that I am one of the most selfish human beings he's ever met for not getting the vaccine. And I said, but that statement right there is one of the conditions that they have been feeding into your brain when you watch CNN and all them other shit shows. Um, that they were telling people that if you know a family member that won't get the vaccine, that Chris Cuomo guy, he was being horrible about it. Talking about that you're not a good human, basically, is what he boiled it down to. If you're not gonna get the vaccine, it doesn't matter if it's to protect you. We want you to get it to protect other people. So they weren't even actually caring about the individual when they were spouting that bull crap. They were saying, no, we don't care about you as a person. We just want you to get that so that everybody else around you is fine. Like
yeah, but
that was,
that's not long enough that it doesn't work, because if you have it, why would you be afraid of people not having it? It's like really like,
there you go.
yeah,
Here's your
when it's like
sign.
if we have like common sense, then you would think already certain things like what we have but we're just having common sense and a normal critical thinking, and we're like
Mhm.
pariahs of society. Well, people have no clue that we actually care more about them, that we care so much that we keep sharing it, even if no one listens. We're gonna keep sharing it, and we're gonna make videos, and we're gonna make talks, and we're gonna make podcasts, and we're gonna keep sharing it and keep sharing it, and I will never stop. And that's why I have like goosebumps everywhere, because this is inside of us. Like once we are awakened, you
Yes.
awaken like the warrior out of you. Like who cares what people think of you? We're gonna keep sharing it. And at one point, yeah, goosebumps everywhere. At one point, people will listen and they will understand how much we care actually. And I really believe a tipping point is coming, and more people need to speak out about everything. And then we're not the only ones like shouting it
Yeah.
out there. And it's happening already. Like more people waking up, more people sharing. So I'm really grateful for that. And like a tipping point is coming, because how we've been, it's getting crazier and crazier also outside of the world. Like if you actually, sometimes when I see things, what's happening is like like even people saying like how much more obvious needed, like doesn't need to be like we should how obvious. And it's really crazy. Oh, I have a friend on here as well, Astral. Hello, Astral. He was already sharing knowledge and talks like 20 years
Hello.
ago. So thank you for that as well. He's really cool. Great for being here. Welcome, welcome. And like they bombard us every day with like negativity and fear and ads for everything. We need
Yeah.
to really like we need to be like doing that as well. We need to keep sharing it and keep doing it, and more people will understand. I'm in several like spiritual groups of like really like knowledge and stuff,
Sure.
and they were like for years, and now I see thousands of people liking the same post that they were always doing, and now I see thousands of likes on the same post, or like people on like especially on TikTok, there's a lot of awake people on there. That's why I think they also want to ban it, because there's so much truth
Yeah.
going on there.
Yep.
Yeah, there's so much truth.
When you're saying that, you named this podcast perfectly, because when you're saying we're going to keep talking, we're going to keep pushing the message, we're going to keep it going, because we're keeping the faith. We are keeping the faith. We are holding. We better white knuckle that faith. We're going to make it. We have to. It is the only way. Love is the only way. I remember when I was in high school, and we had a Australian English teacher who looked like a very tall, statuesque Audrey Hepburn. I was in love with her. I don't remember. I think her name was Miss Lewis, actually. She was gorgeous. And one of the, I guess, inside jokes that our whole class had uh, during one of the years is that love conquers all, because we read something. I don't know if it was a poem or it was something titled "Love Conquers All," but we took that and ran with it. Like every answer for the rest of the year, we would jokingly put "Love Conquers All" or say it, because. And I think that was one of those still quiet seeds that were planted way back when, because that was 12 other students that did that. So we all have that muscle memory of love conquers all in our brain, just whirling around up there. So quite possibly the muscle memory fact of that could be that us 12 have that love conquers all thing. Like it is an energy that when you boil things down, love really could conquer everything. Tell me a person that I mean, maybe I'm a Pisces, so I dream a lot, and I'm pretty sure I'm ADHD. So I see things in a very pure way. I see that I could walk up to the general that is doing the attacks on the others. Like, I feel like I could go talk to him and be like, hey, like, what's up? Do you want to just not do that stuff? You're being pretty mean. Let's be nice. Like, in the innocence of a child, um, to God is the most pure thing. So if you were to walk up to a monster, human, and approach them with a childlike innocence, that we need to not be what we're being. You know, you know that in your inner core that you don't want to be this, because you know that when you push that button, or when you say those words, or when you command your army to go do that and say that and hurt that, there's that inner feeling where you feel kind of yucky. Well, like, let's start listening to that, because even in a much smaller realm, when I used to be a person that I grew up in the church, so I guess I liked to talk a lot of shit, which I didn't realize it was talking shit. I was just talking about people, or like what they were doing, or that kind of thing. And then I started to notice, after I started waking up to everything, is it like that inner feeling that you feel when you're like, oh my gosh, that's a stupid outfit. I mean, that's a silly one to say, but, and then you're like, wow, I mean, maybe she really likes that outfit. Maybe she worked really hard for that outfit. You never know. And for me to say what I think about it and cast it out to her energy, it's not fair. It's not nice, and things need to change, and the only way we can change something as big as me walking up to the war general and getting him to stop the war has to start with me stopping saying mean things about other people, even when they're not around. Yeah.
But it starts with ourselves, but it's something bigger. I think it's something bigger. We can keep working on ourselves and keep being a better version of ourselves, and we can keep sharing and with more people stand up. But there's also real evil out there, and I think they're so indoctrinated, but also maybe they actually like on one hand maybe they are indoctrinated by their families and like how they grew up and all sorts of things, but there's also probably more on the backside of all of this, like forces like of real evil, and we will find out like the sheer evil of everything. It's like it's coming out more and more, and there are lots of victims of uh, of, um, of abuse already out there everywhere, and ritualistic abuse and all sorts of things. It's like the vastness is much bigger and much even more evil than we think what is happening. And I really feel like at one point it will all come out. So, but we don't know when it will, but we will reach a tipping point and it will all come out because everything is coming out in the open. Like we already now things are coming out that we like never thought would be in the open right now, like in all these years. So it's coming, but we just don't know when. But the truth is out there. If you want to see the truth, it's out there.
Okay, so Kelly, I was just on the phone with, we were doing a video thing, and she was showing me how I am, how we are in 5D. And she was like, do you trust me? And I was like, instantly, yes, obviously. And she was like, go put a fork in your microwave and start it. And I was like, what? Okay. I couldn't find a fork, but I found actually this spoon. And I went and put this spoon in my microwave sitting right there, and I pushed start. It didn't spark. It didn't spark. We have grown to an energy frequency, and she explained it in a way more intelligent way. But basically, we are absorbing the stuff that used to make it, the energy that used to make it, it's not energy, static. We're absorbing the static that used to do that. And it's something to do with the when you play a harp, the harp players. I don't know if we have to code things on YouTube or not, but the weather, the changing of the weather they've been doing is a sign, and why it's not working with the microwaves with the metal. And it didn't. I like I said, she explained it. That's why I was like, can she come on? I found a really cool friend. I want to bring my friend.
Bring her on, bring her on, bring her on.
Yeah. But she also pointed out, when you see rainbows now, is it one rainbow or is there two rainbows?
I had the last time I saw two rainbows, but someone said my microphone is not so well. Can you hear me very well?
Your microphone has always been like at half. That's why Guillaume was trying to say that, like, to get my headphones or something. That's why
Is
when
it,
you talk, you'll see me lean in, because sometimes I can't
is it
hear
now
you. You're
better?
like,
I took another one. Is it now better?
that might seem better, actually. I don't know. Ask your friend. See
Okay.
how it sounds on there.
Okay. Yeah, he says I'm a bit muffled. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. This is works better. This one, it's on the thing.
Yeah.
So that's good. But I had one friend, she was like psychic and said, yeah, we are the ascended masters because we see what's happening in the world. We are the enlightened ones because the light is the information. So we know what's actually happening. So we are like also with the Christ consciousness. I'm quite sure that he was the one addressing the problems that were there. And we have that same consciousness. We are, like she said, like we are the ascended masters. We are like, and that's what we are also, we are programmed like human, like, oh, I didn't master every part of this realm yet, but we are also part human as well, and that's okay. But but yeah, it's like, because like we see the things differently and we see both sides and we
Yeah.
can give different perspectives and people can choose. And,
Yep.
and that is like, this is something that we have that no one can take from us.
I've often chuckled.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. Somebody scam likely. The scam artists are always calling me. I get like 20 calls a day.
Ooh.
But I had a little chuckle to myself maybe just the other day. It was recent in my brain. Time is weird for me. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, my guide or my higher self or my intuition or my Jiminy Cricket, whatever that is, my spirit must be really irritated with my meat suit, because my meat suit just does whatever. It's down here playing like it's a toddler on Tuesday, and she's got but like, and I think that's a lot of where our depression can come from, when we're allowing our earthly body to consume as much as it consumes, and then not being our spiritual self, not listening to the call that we feel, because many of us feel it. You feel it, I feel it, Kelly feels it, a lot of my friends feel it. And what's crazy is I've noticed that I'm only finding the you peoples online, a distance away. And at first I was like, man, I want some of my people close. I want them by me. And then Spirit said to me, but you have to be that so other people can light up too. I need you at your ground and stop trying to leave and go over there and leave and go over there. I need you here, continuing to be you so that more people see me within you. I need you stuck where you're at, even though you might fucking hate it sometimes. I'm sorry, but I love you. It's sometimes our inner child or our inner earth. I feel like we have an inner child, and then I feel like our earth body is our spirit's child. Because we act some damn fools, and sometimes I swear I feel like she just got to be getting so irritated with me. Like, can you please just listen to me? I know what I'm doing. Higher ground always wins. I can see you. I can see you. I'm like, well, yeah, but I do what I want.
But also like our higher selves, it's so chilling and it's all good. And then our like human self is like, oh no, what a worry and fear. And like, oh. And then when you come back to inside yourself and connect with yourself, like, oh, that's good. And peace and love. And yeah, but we have that ability to have that connection with yourself, to go inward, to feel all of that. So that is like you really want that for others as well. And what you said, like that the woman said, like we're already in 5D. We're already in such a different reality. Like when we have that worry, it's a totally different worry than most people have. Like other people would worry about like 10 of the things that I would worry about. Like I have like one or two, and then they would worry about like much more things. And sometimes we also need to see like all the good stuff that's happening as well, and all the positive stuff, and also like a lot of people always say it comes down to gratitude for the small things, gratitude for every day, gratitude you're alive, gratitude. Like I always like when I have like things happening, I'm like, yeah, I'm at least we're with the two of us, with the we're together with like me and my
Yeah.
partner, like we have such a different perspective than most people. And then we're like so grateful to have at least found each other. Like
Yeah.
and yeah, like and this is like, but also we are like you said, like we all have to be that lighthouse in that moment for other people somewhere. Like somewhere we are places that we're like, where we ended up now again, like somewhere in Spain on top of a mountain, and we're like there were not even that many people around. Like what?
Oh, I
It's
bet
like
that was wonderful. I so badly, one day I will sit again. I've been on a mountain. I used to live in Washington State, but I want to go to an expansive, like a mountain range, like the Himalayas or something like really big, maybe tropical with some waterfalls, a rainforest. I don't know. I feel like we should really just go inhabit a land or an island. All of the us people will just go
I
to an
think that will
island.
come. Yeah, it will
Yeah.
come. It will come. We will have like light communities and community communities everywhere, and it will come. And I think more and more people really have that already as a dream. Like they want to live in nature and they
Yeah.
want to be like-minded people and grow their own fruit. So that is also like one of my biggest dreams. And yeah, and we actually found a place. We actually found a place here in Mexico, like a community, and
Yay.
where we're gonna be living. So that's really, really cool. We like a couple of weeks ago we went there, and really nice people, and in the jungle, and we
Oh,
can build our own house there. And yeah, so if people really want to know more, they can always message me. But we are like, yeah, so that is yeah, I'm looking forward to it because that is what I really want. Like, and I did it already several times. But yeah, at one point it was unfortunately it was a cult, and the person watching this, he was also in it. He was also away now, so a lot of people went away there. So yeah, so like, but I still have that soul family everywhere over the world. Like the people that were there, they left, and they're all over the world, scattered all over the world. So it still feels sort of like soul family,
Yeah.
but mostly it's online with people that are like, they get you, like a lot of people close to you that get, and it's really crazy. Like the support doesn't come from the people you think it would, or the people closest to you. It comes from random strangers online, no? And you
Because
bond
those
together.
random strangers online are doing the same thing and feeling the same way. And they were like, dude, I was just feeling like that last week. Don't you let that get you down. Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
And that's what we're here for. Like when someone is down, we pick them up and we say, you got this, brother, sister, you got this, and we got this. And it's like, it's like we win, like it's battles. It's battles, but we win the grand, what the whole war. Like it's a spiritual war out there, and like it's not easy, and it's like, and when one person's down, we're holding it for the others, and vice versa, and we can be there for each other. Oh,
Look, she was laying up here and she just like slid off. She's still asleep. She's a silly girl.
Oh. And when we're like down, we can always watch nice videos about cats and dogs online.
Yes,
Make us
you
laugh.
cannot go wrong. If you watch videos of cats and dogs, it literally releases happy juice in your brain.
Yeah,
Oh.
or funny memes. My funny memes also gives me like sometimes boost. So
That one meme you sent me, that meme about the looking around, I still get dopamine drops from that one. I'm like, that was it was probably the best meme I have ever seen in my entire life. And I'm sorry if anybody else is seeing this and like, but I want to see the meme. No, it's my meme.
but it's also everything makes other people, everybody have different points of views and humor. And that's why like one of my latest ones is like, and on the eighth day, God created humor, and some people were absent that day. And it got more likes on the TikTok than any video I made last week's. So yeah, we have to always like, we have to make like, be not too like, take life too serious, take ourselves too serious, find ways to deal with this reality, because it's like really not easy, but we have to find different ways. We find different ways, and different ways of being and doing, and sometimes all the ways you found that worked before suddenly don't work anymore. That's because we find different ways to deal with it, and we find new ways, and knowing that like when you're feeling really, really down, it's because you go.
Oh shit. Went away.
It's coming. It's back now.
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
And always keep the faith. Always know there's a better tomorrow, and it will always come. Like even if you feel really, 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 really bad, and but there's also a lot of things that make people feel bad. Like a lot of times, it can be anything. So don't always rationalize it with your mind why you're feeling certain things, but also knowing it will change and it will get better.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're saying that like that, there was something that you said about like bringing lines together or something, and it made me think of how every let's see. Let's say that this point is the end. Like the final of the race, the end of time, the end of this type of time frame, it doesn't matter how anybody gets to it. Everybody will get to that same point in a different way. And it is so beautiful when I'm like releasing the fact that at first I was like, well, no, you have to awaken this way and you have to do things this way so that you can actually get there. But then the more I started to shut up and look around, the more I started to see the really beautiful mosaic way that God has worked everybody to find their own path. I think that's one of the reasons he gave us free will, because that way we can find our own path and make our own way and be proud of how we've done. Instead of like, oh, well, why did you put me through this? Why, if God exists, why does he have kids get cancer and stuff like that? There's so many different types of answers for a question of that depth. But I think the best way is because he really loves us. He wants us to conquer our demons and rise, however that feels. And I don't know if I want to say that next part. That could be interpreted incorrectly by other people, but a person who's working out isn't going to get muscle definition if they don't rip their muscles apart through pushing themselves and pushing themselves and pushing themselves and pushing themselves. So, is it not an act of love that God shoves us in the pond, teaches us how to swim? Man, I thank God for all the crap I've been through, because I know I am one heck of a hardcore person now. And I value the fact that everybody will find their own path and find their own way. And all they have to do is keep the faith. Just keep on swimming.
You find wisdom and resilience and strength, and you find so much that no
Yep.
one ever can take away. What,
Yep.
even if you have nothing, you will have that, and you have that inside of you, and that's why it's so like that inner strength and that knowing that the wisdom that you have, no one can ever take it.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah. Yay, beautiful, beautiful. So everybody keep having faith, and better days are coming for you and for whole of humanity, and I hope very soon. And that's also always divine timing. Sometimes what I always get when I feel like I want everything now, it's like patience. And that's one of the biggest lessons for me, like patience. And then I also say to my partner, oh, later we will laugh about this. And I was like, oh, you don't make, yeah, this is like so many strange or crazy things happening. It's like can't make this shit up. But I'm like, oh, later we will laugh about it. But now it's like shit. And it can also just be shit sometimes. And we also have to acknowledge that, like sometimes, like shit. But it's yeah. So we know it's what it is to suffer, but we know how to pick ourselves up and know, like, you got this, and we all got it. And better days are coming for everybody. Just know this. So
Yes.
thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Keara. It was really amazing again.
I love our talks.
Yeah, me too.
See, now that you've done it, I bet you're like, man, I love this so much, because being sleepy and being like, oh man, I got so much to do. And I know that like days where I'm like, on Wednesdays, a lot of times I won't remember until like 12:15, 12:30, and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta get ready. And it's just such a rush, but I'm always so excited once I've done it. Oh, that's odd. I just realized I have the same poem written in this book twice. Hmm, that's crazy. Whoops.
But I also feel
Um,
very inspired after our talk. So, and then it's like, it's really nice. And I
yes.
love talking about all these topics. Oh, hi, Kitty cat.
This is my three-legged cat with Down syndrome. He's missing this leg right there. You see? He had to have it amputated here recently. He's a good boy, though. You can't hear it because it's over the phone, but he, like, when I'm doing this to him, he snorts. He's like, so cute. He got such a big nose. He's my baby. I love him. I was really sad. The Lance Tucker Memorial Fund. If anybody like I wouldn't be able to, but the Lance Tucker Memorial Fund is for people that can't afford to get their animal healed, and it's a not for profit. You can go on and donate. If you go on the Facebook page, be prepared for your heart to swell and hurt all at the same time, because like instead of having, because vets will help your animal, but if they help it and you can't afford it, they ask you to release it to them, so they take over your animal and then they'll like adopt it or I don't know what. But in order to keep pets with their families, oh, that was so sweet. Lance Tucker, he's passed away now. But his goal in life was to help out animals of families that couldn't afford it, so that they could keep their animal and it still get fixed. So I found out about that um, fund, and I sent him an email with pictures of Obsidian and what was wrong with him and how his whole back right leg just like completely stopped working. Um, and they went ahead and took it and paid for part of the surgery, and then another company, Armani's Angels, paid for the other part of it, and I got my Obsidian all fixed up. Like it is. There's the buddy boy.
So
Oh,
maybe
he
people have that problem. They can. We put your links anywhere down here. So if people like probably in America have that problem with their pets, then they can contact you
yeah,
with names and all
yeah,
those information. But it's
yeah.
nice that your cat.
Do you want me to text it to you on Messenger with the how to spell the Lance Tucker Memorial thingy? It's Lantz, and then you know how to spell Tucker and Memorial, I'm sure.
People can contact you if they need that. And then you can
Oh,
send
okay,
them.
yeah. They can contact me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yes,
Yay!
so thank you everybody for being here. Thank you. And we'll see what the next topic will be. And thank you for people watching. And you're very, very welcome. And lots of greetings to you, Astral. And good luck with everything. And he said also, we grow. Yes, we keep growing. He said, thank you both. So thank you also. And thank you, Keara. Maybe you want to do a short outro about yourself. Short.
Yeah, I am me. I make a whole bunch of different crafty stuff. I mean, I write poetry. I allow my inner self to be its self, because I'm tired of not allowing her to be her and shoving her down because that's what other people want. I've even stopped wearing deodorant because I don't care whether or not other people are like, oh yeah, you smell funny. I'm like, well, then go away, because I'm not putting that chemical crap on my armpits. It hurt. It gave me rashes. And it's all like, that's a superficial thing. Like, why do I care what other people think I smell like? I don't. And that's part of me allowing myself to be me, is not conforming to what society wants. I don't even really put makeup on anymore. Yep. And my youngest son has always told me, he was like, Mama, you don't need makeup. And there's been other guys who I've dated who would tell me stuff like, well, you don't need to wear makeup. And at first I thought that was them trying to get me not to be so beautiful, because I thought they wanted me more ugly. Until my son started really saying it, like, Mom, I really mean that. Like, you don't have to, like, our kids are a blessing in the fact that they will speak quite abruptly and honestly to you. And when it comes from the mouth of your child, it's much more profound. And he was like, you really don't, Mom. Like, all that makeup crap. And he doesn't even like his girlfriend to wear makeup that much, because he's like, you don't need that. Those fake eyelashes, all the extra stuff. We don't need to have all that. That's what society says to us, that we need to. But that's honestly, that's like catfishing in real life. Like, show your real self so that the person knows this is what you really look like when you wake up at 6:59. Like, come on. I don't know. You said short, so I'll just stop at that, because you know me. I'll just jabber, jabber, jabber.
But yeah, just know people know that we're real, you're real, and yeah, I'm also very real, and we bring it like it is, and we're bringing like our authentic selves, our like honest, and our like, and that is what we're going through. Like that is like what you're saying, like the new frequency is just like open and honesty, and nothing is off the table. We can talk about anything. And yeah, what I do is really bring that realness everywhere in my talks, in my videos, in my podcasts, and wherever I am. And I want to just spread love and upliftment and also truth. And a lot of people say, oh, it's not love and light. No, truth is also light. It's information, it's knowledge, it's wisdom. That's also light. That's what really light is. And I share that everywhere, seeds of enlightenment and wisdom, and wherever I can, as much as possible. And I also do yoga, meditation, energy healing. You can check my website, misshellbreaker.com, energy healing and energy healing courses. I work with frequency devices. It's also on my website, and I now also help people with financial income different ways. So yeah, if anybody needs any help on any level, they can always contact me. I'm happy to be of service. I want to be of service to whatever person needs in that moment. Yeah, I'm happy to help, and I'm happy that I can be of service to other people. So being that vessel of helping, and some people actually understand what I'm doing. 1 or 2 weeks ago, like someone said, like, I appreciate what you do for humanity, and it was like, oh, at least someone. Someone gets it.
Somebody gets me.
Yeah, at least we understand each other, and we connected with more beings that are alike, and that is already really, really, really beautiful. So really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for you.
And I am really grateful for you too. I'm so glad we met, and that I get to be on this talk, and because it's helping me in a lot of ways too, because it's helping me to stand more on what I want to do. I see you doing your thing, and you're very powerful. You're on your way, and you've got your real talks, and you're spreading yourself out, but you're not becoming thin. And that is something that I want within. You're really inspirational. And these talks
Oh,
make me really realize that I'm just like you too. I can do it when I grow up and be a big girl.
yes, yes. And the only one stopping it is our own like thoughts and stuff and insecurities and doubts, and we all have those. So that's
Yep.
also the human part of us. And it will only expand and expand and expand. So it can only get bigger. So
Yeah.
thank you. And thank you, everybody, and knowing that you have that power, like unlimited possibility and power inside of you and resilience, and keep the faith, and you know you got this. We're unlimited beings of energy and power, and we only grow and grow. So thank you, everybody, and till the next time.
Until next time. Tschüss.